So I'll just kind of go through my portfolio real quick. I know I'm kind of out of time. But.
No, you're fine. So y'all keep getting questions, Enrique, and I didn't mean to turn you off, so I'll turn you back on now. And y'all make sure you ask any questions you're wondering about. That's the purpose of this last part of it, is just to be open as you look at the work. Feel free to describe it as you go.
Yeah, this is Comprehensive Studio. This is the first semester that they implemented this class. It's the first year of grad school. It's a 9-hour studio. We met every day for 4 hours, Monday through Friday.
So you went straight from undergraduate, from your bachelor to your master's?
Yeah, from summer to fall.
What was part of your decision on that, decision making for that?
Finishing faster.
Yeah, you are a finisher, aren't you?
Yeah, I wanted to finish as fast as I could, which didn't really work out with the economy, but it was kind of nice anyways.
And you maintained that job at that firm the entire time?
No, I worked there for about 6 months, and then I got an on-campus job. And I got an on-campus job which paid for living and food, and it wouldn't let me work anywhere else. But, you know, it was good. It was good.
It was like a work study?
On-campus, it's very conceptual. Our professor really wanted us to experiment with different things. But I'll kind of just go through it kind of quick. We had to try to think about structure.
What software are you using?
3D Studio Max for those renderings. The left is actually a model we built. Illustrator for the composition and the line work.
What would you say you use the most?
Just for composition and lines, like you can export an AutoCAD drawing to Illustrator and do the line weights and work with that kind of stuff. So Illustrator I use the most. Rhinoceros is something I'm hearing people from tech are using more and more.
Is that a plugin for SketchUp? Or
Rhinoceros is its own program, and if you know AutoCAD, it's so much easier with Rhino because it's the same programs.
Okay.
So Rhino is definitely something, and there's a student version of that for like $250, I think.
So what about Revit versus AutoCAD?
I hardly ever use AutoCAD there. If I did, it was to plot. Revit, you take a class in Revit, but other than that, professors don't really encourage you to use it because as far as idea generating, stuff like this, I'd be still working on this project if I was doing it in Revit. I mean, that's just Revit. It's hard to get forms like that. This is this graduate studio, and this is exactly. I modeled out our studio, so that's what the studio looks like. But my project is actually the thing that goes on the ceiling. This was a very different project. It was we worked with circuit boards and lighting, light sensors, and I built this thing that moved when the studio was brighter, and at night the lights would light up. It was kind of complicated, but it was a fun project. This is a studio I did with interior design students, landscape architecture students, and it was graduate architecture students. So we had groups of 7, which is always kind of scary, but I had a great group, and we did a hotel in Galveston. We went down to Galveston, visited the site. This is a rendering using Revit. It took about 16 hours for that to render. But it's right next to the Hotel Galvez. If anyone's familiar with Galveston, Hotel Galvez is right up the red roof building up there. So this was all Revit. This whole project used Revit. And it was great because we could collaborate with all the students. We all could work together on the same program. This is my last studio there.
As a graduate?
As a graduate. It's lurking a lot for conceptual form. A lot of stuff I did in the studio reminds me of a lot of stuff I see in the hallway. And a lot of these sectional models, plan models. It's a jazz studio in Rhode Island. Work a lot with diagramming, transitioning from these diagrams into plan, section, different things.
Was this a thesis or a studio?
No, the comprehensive studio, the first one I showed, that took place at thesis. They don't do thesis anymore.
Physical model?
Yeah, those are my sectional models. Okay, undergrad. This is my second studio there, and we visited New York. So a lot of classes will take trips places. I know there's a studio this semester going to New York City. We went there. That building on the left, it's kind of weird looking. That's a Frank Gehry building. We did a mid-rise residential building. This was a group project also. Majority of the group, the projects there are group. And this was done in, I think we tried to use Revit and 3D Studio Max.
So this was taken in like New York, this project, or?
We were there for about a week just to go visit the site. Just kind of look at the site and see what we're up against. This is my first studio tech, first semester there.
So this is straight out of SAC.
Straight out of SAC. And I think I actually used Revit for this too, even though my professor didn't want me to. But it worked out. It came out to be a really good project. Lots of diagramming. Tech is very conceptual. I know one thing I've heard from people going there, including me and some friends, was going to tech, you know, from SAC, you're in design 4 and design 3, you're starting to do buildings and you're starting to really look at programs and stuff like that. And you get up to third year tech and you kind of take a step back and you're going back to the conceptual design. Just embrace it, you know, conceptual design's fun and it'll make you just, you know, a better designer and a better, you know, person in the future. So don't think of it as taking a step back, think of it as kind of building your strengths you already have. Plans or sections for that building. I remember when I was there, I was putting those trees on there. We don't put trees in our buildings here at Tech. I said, well, I don't care. Seems like we all do that at SAC. Okay, yeah, this is my SAC work. See the big difference.
So do you ever hand draw anymore?
Sometimes, not so much. A lot of it's so computer based. I mean, we do a lot of sketches at work. You get back into an office environment, and you have to sketch because you have to get ideas out quickly. So, and that's one thing you need to remember when you transfer anywhere is keep doing the hand drawings to help you come up with ideas. Keep doing those sketches on trace paper, and oh yeah, it'll help you a lot. The Lofton project. This is the losing team. The team that didn't get built. We had a lot of fun though.
But have you been over to see?
Yeah, I have.
I mean, it definitely made an impact.
We should have won. And that's it.
So there's definitely, we have like 7 minutes. You know, we want to be out at 12:50 so you can get to your classes and get everything done. And of course, if you want to briefly, anyone who needs to leave. But if you have any questions for Robert or about tech or any other comments.
Here's a good picture of the sandstorms in tech also. And the duststorm. Sorry, I kind of ran late.
And no, you didn't.
If you're at tech, it's a little easier. You don't have to take the graduate record exam. You don't have to take the GRE. They have a dual program too for grad school. It's a dual MBA
Can you
with
please
architecture.
leave as quickly as possible so we can keep asking questions?
It's an MBA and a Master of Architecture program, and it's a really good thing to have. Just an MBA, just to have it. It's good to have with your Master of Architecture, and it's not that much longer added on to your current plan. I know a lot of people do it.
Where did you live when you moved there? Did you move into, are there student dorms? Did you move
I moved
into
in the student dorms.
apartment?
I lived in the architecture dorms.
So you did live, there are architecture dorms. Did y'all know that?
It's right across. This is the business school. This is looking out of like the 7th floor of the architecture building. It's looking north. On the other side is the architecture dorms. And it's like 2 floors.
So it's 2 floors of a larger building?
Right. It's 4 floors of a large building, 2 floors girls, 2 floors guys.
And how long did you stay there?
I was there for a year.
And then you moved into apartment?
I worked in housing the whole time I was there. So I worked in the honors college first as a community advisor, and then I moved to work with architecture students.
So that's one of the things that's offered, you know, in a full
I loved it.
institution is you can always kind of get jobs in your dorm or in various ways. And you can tell Robert was very aggressive and proactive with finding work as a part of his life choices.
Yeah, and it's something to go along with knowing your professors and getting to know them too. I mean, while I was working in housing, I was offered about 2 or 3 teaching assistant positions, which is also something I wish I would have done to get myself more varying experience. But that's really good because not only is that money, but that's somebody that can recommend you in the future.
So what about cost of living at Tech? And how much were the dorms to live in? Do you remember at all roughly?
I never paid for it, so.
It was scholarship.
Yeah, for that job, they paid for my food and my living. So that's the main reason I did it. Plus, I was right next to the architecture building.
So for the Autodesk website, did you, when you signed up, use your school email address to get the?
You can use an email address. Doesn't matter.
Also, but it's all free?
Yeah. I loaded on today. I can still download it. I downloaded my, I think the other day. So, yeah. Even in architecture building, there's always something going on. They have a brand new student lounge that they built when I was my senior year there. It's nice. So if you're interested, definitely schedule a meeting to go up there.
And they have scholarships for specific, like architecture scholarships. Specifically?
Yeah, they have a fund they get every semester of this lump sum of architectural money.
Oh.
And if you apply and you meet the requirements, I don't want to say you're guaranteed, but if you meet the requirements, they make sure people get money. And usually it's like $500 to $2,000, so that's good.
Have you kept in touch with others?
There were a couple
Between when you
others.
went in
I saw Mario, I don't remember his last name, and Christian. I saw them a couple times, but I didn't really talk to them that much. I mean, I saw them and we went to their studio and talked to them a little bit.
We've only been sending 1 or 2 a year.
Yeah.
Of the last couple of years since the year
But
that Robert
I mean,
went.
we went there. Kelly was #1 in her class in undergraduate.
Remember that?
And then I was #2 in my graduate class. So I mean, we do well because we have the work ethic that SAC kind of forced us to adapt to. So
Texas Tech does have like a last year architecture?
they do. It's not part of the architecture school. It's kind of across the street in the ag stuff, but they have landscape architecture too.
So have you seen any like projects?
From landscape?
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked with some of their students during our summer collaboration studio. It's pretty good. They have, from what I hear, I think their landscape program's pretty good.
Any other questions? It's your chance.
So being a graduate of Texas Tech, and if you hadn't decided to go to graduate school there, does Texas Tech have a really good reputation as far as getting into like other graduate programs around the country?
Yeah, there's 4 of my classmates that went to Columbia. A bunch of people went to Michigan. There's people at IIT in Illinois right now. 2 of my friends went to SciArt in California. Yeah, they go everywhere.
Right on.
It's very important. Great question.
There's also 4 friends that got summer internships with Peter Eisman up in New York City. Wow. Unpaid. It's unpaid. But when you're finished, he says, okay, where do you want your letter written to? And it's pretty much 100% guaranteed you'll get accepted.
Great question.
So, yeah, it's all what you put into it, you know. You gotta put a lot in to get a lot out. You choose the right professors, you know. You'll find which professors are gonna push you more.
What about diversity up there?
That's something they strive for. I mean, you know, there's a women's and architecture club. So
I saw that.
the women are professors, and a lot of the women that are in school there get together every year. They have the pink day, whole thing. Yeah, they work hard. That's part of the accreditation process too, I think, is looking at diversity.
Well, I'm really happy that Robert, he's offered, before that he was asked, to the program to give you some payback. So, you know, what we're going to do is set up a kind of a database. I'm not going to necessarily give everybody Robert's information, but anyone who wants to follow up on this.
And come.
Correct.
Because I talked to him and he said, you know, I need to come down there. He's like, I really missed the program, so you might want to get a hold of him.
And they're all welcome at any time. So I'd like everybody to please extend a round of thanks